I know you like to make money. You're never going to stop making money. Very, very few people on the planet know how to make money like you know how to make money. But some of this stuff has got to stop. I sit here with sadness today to report to you that I'm incredibly disappointed in one of my all-time favorite fighters, my brother, Floyd Money Mayweather.
So that article sparked rumors that you are bankrupt. How do you respond to that? I don't think you have publicly responded.
Well, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I mean, if we call having 2 private jets, owning 100 buildings, being able to do what you want to do, if that's bankrupt, then I'm pretty sure everybody want to live like that.
Yes. That's all he need to do to erase that debt. Don't go to the damn poker table. Don't go to the blackjack table. Don't go to the slot machine, for crying out loud, even if it's only asking you for $1. Don't do it. Stay the hell out of the casino.
Stephen A. Smith recently hinted that Floyd Mayweather Jr. may eventually run into financial problems due to his lavish lifestyle and constant high-level spending. Music. Rather than delivering it as a controversial hot take, he framed it as a serious warning, emphasizing how fast even massive fortunes can disappear once the fame, attention, and spotlight begin to fade.
To make all that money if you ain't got any of it to keep for yourself, bro. When you look at the Vegas casinos, just think twice about going down there yourself. That's all. Send your boys to do it for you. Order room service. Chill out, do something. Anything but gamble, bro. Keep your money. Because as great as you are, I got news for you. You ain't gonna be able to perform like that forever. We all get old. Father Time is undefeated. Make sure your wallets are fat when that day comes.
Stephen A. Smith pointed out that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is believed to have earned nearly $1.1 billion throughout his career. However, he suggests that the same flashy, music-extravagant lifestyle that helped build the Money Mayweather persona could also be the reason his fortune may not stretch as far as many people think.
Addict. He got baby mamas all over the... What do you mean is he broke? Of course he's broke. What boxer do you know that isn't broke? What a ridiculous question. But it's the fact that they're attempting to tease him. I mean, first off, they're asking the question. Look, I've told you until I'm blue in the face. The numbers that you hear in boxing simply aren't true. Floyd made $1 billion. No, he didn't. Floyd and Conor made $500 million. No, they didn't. Of course they didn't. Nobody's ever confirmed that. And it's the same thing with the check. I got $100 million for a fight. Oh, you did? Who signed the check? Whoever signed the check is going to want credit for it. There's never been a time that $1 million check was written and the dude that wrote the check didn't make sure that somebody found out he wrote the check. So who wrote the check? Floyd's got a whole bunch of them, apparently. He got $1 billion. Who?
For years, Floyd Mayweather Jr. cultivated an image centered around endless wealth, frequently showing off piles of cash on Instagram alongside luxury watches, private jets, and enormous mansions. He built a reputation around a lavish, high-spending lifestyle that made it appear as if tomorrow music was never a concern.
That is because of the way Floyd Mayweather goes about his business. He's been filthy rich. He's made his name, his legacy, and a lot of his reputation wasn't just the boxing, it was the money. It's the money man. What I have, what I'm driving, what I'm living in, what I'm flying in. And a lot of people, they don't like that. I don't know if Floyd Mayweather had more supporters for most of his fights or more haters, but regardless of where you fall on that line, Floyd Mayweather made it work for him when many people, promoters included, networks included, early on didn't think that he...
Stephen A. Smith explains that this image was highly effective while Floyd Mayweather Jr. was still competing, particularly during the peak of his career when he was reportedly making between $100 million and $200 million per fight. Around that same time, Floyd famously bought an $18 million watch, a purchase that came to represent just how excessive the money era had become. But according to Smith, once those massive fight paydays disappeared after retirement, maintaining that same level of luxury became a completely different and far more difficult challenge.
Even Floyd, when you make yourself like we got issues over your anger, he's still the best fighter out there. Until somebody beat him, that's who he is.
Do you think he should step back in the ring?
I think he got to right now because the money gone.
So the money's really gone?
Yeah, that's what you think. It's fight, get the money, spend the money, fight.
All that money?
And it's been 2 years.
So is it just his overhead is so high on a day to day, month to month. Like
I don't even want to talk about it. Like with the lifestyle, that money's gone. Trust me. Now it's like you call him, he'll be at your local hoster in a nightclub because you need that action right now.
Stephen A. Smith believes this is exactly why Floyd Mayweather Jr. continues taking exhibition fights, suggesting they are driven less by competition and more by the need to sustain the luxurious lifestyle he became famous for. He also references the long-standing jokes critics once made about Floyd's education, saying that with today's financial rumors, those old comments are now resurfacing in a far more uncomfortable light. And according to Smith, this conversation is far from new.
Accusing Floyd of going broke for 20 years. Maybe down to 200 million. Maybe that's just broke. I don't know. Maybe that's what I do know is his homes are still there. Every time he called me, his stars on the roof, right? So I don't know unless somebody is hacked into this man's finances. They always accuse the man of going broke. Maybe he's bored. Maybe somebody came and told him, man, we got 200-300 million, man, to get in the ring. I can guarantee you, he ain't broke. He's making a lot of sound investment. And the investments I've seen being made ain't the investments.
Back in 2020, 50 Cent, once a close friend of Floyd Mayweather Jr. before becoming one of his biggest critics, claimed during a radio interview that Floyd had already lost his fortune, a statement that immediately sparked widespread debate. Whether Stephen A. Smith's concerns are accurate or not, his overall message is simple. When your entire public image is built around unlimited music wealth, even the smallest financial rumors can rapidly turn into global headlines and fuel intense public conversation.
Wondering, how does a guy in Floyd's position not have someone watching his money? The answer is that someone is watching. It's just that it's in that person's best interest to watch the money go away.
Why?
Because if it were up to Floyd, he'd probably never fight again. He's got an undefeated record, something he's extremely proud of. So if you see him talking up about that doesn't make sense, like fighting the MMA star Conor McGregor or the Japanese kickboxer Tenshin Nasukawa, it means one thing: the money is gone. That's why it's in the manager, promoter, and accountant's best interest for him to stay broke. Otherwise, he's never going to lace those gloves up again and bring in
And just as Stephen A. Smith's comments about bankruptcy had people acting like Floyd Mayweather Jr. was only one unpaid bill away from auctioning off his boxing robe online, Nicholas Irving stepped into the conversation with a completely different perspective. One that shifted the debate from a simple accusation into more of a real-life character analysis. Irving made it clear that he wasn't personally auditing Floyd's finances or tracking every dollar he spends, but he had witnessed the lifestyle up close. That's where the discussion becomes more compelling. He wasn't talking about a one-time extravagant purchase or a single luxury flex, but rather a non-stop pattern of extreme spending that appears to define Floyd's everyday life, adding a more grounded and observational layer to an already intense debate.
Floyd is broke. He don't have $0. Floyd still has money, a lot. I just think that maybe the lifestyle and, I don't know, maybe catching up. I mean, I don't know. He's got money coming in. I don't know if he still has, the girls' lounge or something.
We're talking about a complete traveling operation that resembles a private kingdom on the move. Large entourages surrounding him, luxury shopping sprees, elite restaurants, private jets, non-stop gambling, and even entire movie theaters rented out so he could watch films without being disturbed. It's the type of lifestyle where ordinary life seems to stop the moment he arrives. And that perfectly reflects the image Floyd Mayweather Jr. spent years creating. He didn't just spend money, he turned spending itself into part of the entertainment. Nicholas Irving says Floyd could burn through anywhere between $500,000 and $1 million as if it were normal daily spending, a claim that sounds unbelievable until you remember the enormous fight purses he once earned and how extravagance became central to the Money Mayweather persona. But what makes Irving's perspective more balanced is that he also pushes back against the extreme claims, offering a more realistic viewpoint instead of simply adding fuel to the music hype and rumors.
But nah, it was, he gets money, I just don't know how much, but I don't pocket watch. But if he is going broke, then it makes sense why he is fighting. I've heard rumors, I've heard the rumors too. I just don't know, how, what is broke? Broke to me is like having zero.
Nicholas Irving also isn't fully convinced by the Floyd is broke narrative. He argues that while the lifestyle is undeniably extreme and the spending habits are expensive, and while some rumors may contain a bit of truth, The term broke is often thrown around too loosely when referring to someone like Floyd Mayweather Jr., who continues to remain highly visible and consistently relevant in public discussions. And that's the real takeaway. Floyd has always understood that attention itself is a form of power. Whether people are praising him or questioning him, he never leaves the spotlight. Even negative conversations help keep his name circulating in headlines and tied to potential fights or appearances. In that sense, controversy doesn't just follow him. It almost feels like part of the strategy.
God whatsoever.
No, and I don't think, that's what I'm saying, I don't think he's broke. I think it's a lot of, to get eyes on the fight. I mean, this happens every fight, for the past few fights. Oh, he's doing it for the money, he's doing it for the money. I don't know what people are calling broke, but been to his house, hung out with him.
Nicholas Irving describes Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s world as a non-stop luxury parade. But then Mike Tyson enters the conversation and completely changes the tone, shifting it from hype to something far more thoughtful and reflective. Tyson doesn't sound like a retired legend chasing attention. He comes across more like someone carefully breaking down the sport from a deeper perspective, speaks about amateur boxing with genuine respect, sometimes valuing it even more than professional titles, showing that his focus isn't nostalgia but the foundation of true greatness built from the ground, music, up. He even points to fighters like Vasyl Lomachenko and his extensive amateur experience as an example of how strong fundamentals are developed early. From there, Tyson expands the discussion into a larger concern, highlights how boxing today is changing. Fewer gyms, fewer proper training opportunities, and fewer tough environments where young fighters can truly develop. His message is straightforward. Modern boxing still wants elite champions at the top, but the system that once produced them is slowly shrinking, making it far more difficult to consistently build the next generation of world-class fighters.
The motto, shape you as a fighter in person.
Yeah. I fought a lot in the gym. I had fights in the gym. I sparred every day. Every day for years, I kept sparring, always sparred in the gym to keep me active and have me always ready to fight. That's what boxing is about, repetition, over and over again. That's what I always did, over and over, boxed every day. It wasn't maybe Sunday we didn't box, but I boxed.
Mike Tyson then opens up about pieces of his own past, and it lands with real weight when he explains that boxing first entered his life in reform school. There, he witnessed something unforgettable: beaten and troubled kids coming back with smiles on their faces simply because they had been training and fighting in the gym. That experience clearly shaped his entire view of the sport, because for him boxing was never just about violence. It became about discipline, structure, and even survival. Even when the interviewer tries to steer the conversation toward controversy involving Floyd Mayweather Jr., Tyson refuses to take the bait. He remains calm, almost detached, and explains that there is no real personal conflict, that it's all part of the entertainment side of boxing, and that eventually things would have played out in the ring anyway. Music. A statement that somehow carries more weight than any heated exchange ever could. From there, Tyson shifts into comparing different boxing eras. He describes his own generation as war horses, suggesting that fighters today would have experienced a much harsher level of punishment in his time. At the same time, he still gives respect where it's due, acknowledging modern talents like Alexander Usyk, Terence Crawford, Shakur Stevenson, and David Benavidez. His tone stays balanced, showing admiration across generations while still emphasizing just how brutally tough boxing used to be.
You said you wanted to knock out Floyd, Mike. Where's all this animosity coming from? This is supposed to be a fun exhibition.
I have no animosity. We as boxers. We're two fighters. We're boxers.
So this is going to be a show?
I'm not knocking out anybody. Nobody's knocking me out. We're going to fight. We're going to fight.
It's going to be a nice show for the people to watch. Is it still happening? Any new details you could share?
Yes, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Thank God. Thank God. I'm so grateful for it.
So while the debate continues over whether a potential Tyson versus Mayweather matchup is music, pure business, or just high-level spectacle, Mike Tyson still speaks about boxing like someone who has never lost touch with its roots. He sees the sport from the very bottom, where small, gritty gyms shape real fighters, and all the way up to the bright lights of championship nights. That perspective is exactly why people still pay close attention when he talks. Then the tone shifts once again as Logan Paul enters the discussion, turning what should be a serious fight conversation into something closer to half comedy, music, half chaos. He points out that both Tyson and Floyd Mayweather Jr. are older, both have already stepped into crossover events, and both continue to profit from them. He says it with the confidence of someone who understands how fast controversy spreads in the online world. But the irony is hard to miss. Even while he criticizes the idea as messy or unnecessary, he also admits the reality. People will still watch regardless. Because in today's fight culture, even negative opinions help fuel attention, and that attention is what ultimately keeps the event alive and relevant.
Do you want to know what's going to happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen. First and foremost, obviously, Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather are both just robbing the bank. They are collecting a paycheck, as they should, because they're both legends who worked their whole career, respect them, to make this amazing brand for themselves, known as like the best fighters in the world. And now they get to cash in on it. And
Logan Paul also begins breaking down the idea of the attention economy, music. And for once, he's not entirely wrong. He argues that modern combat sports are no longer driven purely by skill alone. Music. Instead, attention has become the real currency. Spectacle, controversy, viral moments, and memes now shape the entire industry. That's why fighters like Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather Jr. still dominate conversations, while even some active champions struggle to get the same level of visibility. He even adds that Floyd's fighting style alone could make any bout look controlled or one-sided if he chose to, pointing back to just how sharp his ring IQ has always been. Music. But the irony is impossible to ignore. Logan is criticizing a system built on spectacle while actively participating in it himself. Music. Calling out manufactured hype even as he helps create it. That contradiction is what makes his argument feel so chaotic, because it ultimately exposes the truth. Modern boxing and modern entertainment now run on the exact same engine.
dude, Floyd Mayweather, although he still owes me $1.5 million.
Well, he's 50 now, too.
Now, almost.
Well, now he's got the money to pay.
Pay up.
He's never paying that.
Is so good at boxing. He really is probably the greatest technical boxer to ever live. He's so good. If he wanted to take
Even
Mike
at his
Tyson
age.
out in less than 3 rounds, he could. He's not going to because he respects Mike Tyson. They're robbing the bank. Kudos to them for doing it. I think it's great.
It's loud, messy, and at times almost absurd. Yet there's a layer of honesty running through it as well. Stephen A. Smith raises questions about whether the Money Mayweather image is truly as untouchable as it appears, suggesting that the financial empire behind it may not be as stable as the branding makes it seem. Nicholas Irving then adds a close-range perspective, describing the lifestyle as non-stop luxury, spending on a level that feels extreme even by elite standards. Music. After that, Mike Tyson shifts the entire focus away from money and spectacle. Music. Bringing boxing back to its foundation. Discipline, hard gyms, sacrifice, and the deeper identity that shapes real fighters. Then Logan Paul introduces the modern viewpoint, music, arguing that attention itself has become the new currency in combat sports, where spectacle can carry as much weight as skill. When you put it all together, it becomes a collision of legacy, wealth, fame, and entertainment, all orbiting around Floyd Mayweather Jr., and that's the real question underneath everything. Whether this is genuine concern about finances, or simply another layer in the most powerful self-promotion machine boxing has ever seen.
It's going to be a really boring fight where they aren't throwing real punches, and we watch Floyd Mayweather take it really easy. That's
I want to
what's gonna
know
happen.
in the room.
It's gonna go all rounds unless they agree on like a body shot or something.
The back office, yes, this is a great idea. Let's pay each of them $20 million each, even if it's more or less.
Yep.
How does that get approved?
There is no solid evidence suggesting that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is facing financial strain. Most of the discussion comes from speculation surrounding his lifestyle choice. Today's boxing landscape, the real driving forces are money, legacy, and attention, all working together to shape what fights get made and how the sport stays in the spotlight.